Beer O'Clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I was passing B&M the other day, decided to swing by, get in there, have a look, went down the beer aisle and I found this. Another cheery Christmas beer. This beer was £1.80 in B&M. It's called Santa's Reinbeer and it's by Robinson's Brewery based in Manchester, UK. 4.3% ABV, 500ml bottle, dark brown bottle on this one. You can see the condensation. The beer's been out the fridge the best part of an hour. It's still quite cold because it's only 13 degrees here in this conservatory. I always like to warm my beers up a little bit during the review just to experience all that flavour. Well, I do that when I drink the beer anyway, on a personal level, because I like to taste the flavours, taste the malt, taste the hops in the beer. And the only way you're going to do that is by warming it up slightly. Right, bottle opener. Let's get this one out into a glass and see what we get. This time of year, November, you're going to see lots and lots of this sort of thing. Lots and lots of these Christmas beers for relatively cheap. I mean, £1.80, it's not a lot of money these days for a beer, is it? When I first started reviewing beer 13 years ago, something like this would have cost £1. But with inflation, it's now £1.80. So what I'm saying here is this is your old school kind of like pound style bargain basement beer that's Christmas themed. We got a one finger, slightly off white head, amber in colour, relatively, actually, yeah, I'm going to say this is a clear looking beer, good levels of carbonation. It's a pretty decent looking beer actually. In terms of what makes this a Christmas beer, does it have Christmas spices in it? Does it, you know, sometimes or a lot of the time these beers at Christmas times are stouts or porters. This one obviously isn't a stout or porter, so I'm thinking maybe some Christmas spices in here. Let's get the aroma. It's just the best bitter from Robinson's Brewery. Malt, biscuit malt, a little bit hoppy on the back end, a little bit of kind of spiciness coming through on the aroma. A little bit of sweetness. A little bit of that kind of regional brewery mustiness that you get. I just recently reviewed Cruz Campo it's plastered with kind of Spanish writing all over the front of the label. It's got Sevilla written on it on the front of the label. You go to the back of the bottle, brewed in the UK by Heineken. And that had that very similar kind of British mustiness about it. There's a sense that somewhere along the line, maybe somewhere in the 1980s or 1990s, just like a level of laziness got in between the cracks of the UK beer industry, and certainly with the big lager breweries of the UK, certainly some of the regional breweries in the UK, they had to copy the big lager companies just to survive. And you're just left with this kind of like this middle ground of like the big lager companies are producing this style of musty lager. The regional breweries of the UK must copy, and it's just like, well, it's just like the rain starting to fall on the conservatory roof. It's just a bit, you know? Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Hopefully it tastes better than it smells. Just, it's tinny, it's metallic, it's okay in terms of like a slight biscuity malt flavour coming through, a little bit spicy, a little bit peppery, go back to that kind of metallic taste. But come on, Robinson's Brewery, if you're watching this video, what makes this a Christmas beer? Just brewed a best bitter. Premium ale, as some of these regional breweries like to call it, a golden beer. You just whacked it in the bottle without like thinking of the recipe. The ingredient contains malted barley. Now, I know some of the regional breweries are struggling. I know some of them are shutting up shop. I know some of them are kind of selling out, and I know some of them are selling, like, look at Wadsworth in Devizes in Wiltshire. They've just sold their fantastic old brewery building to become flats, and there's a reason behind this. It's so annoying. So annoying. It's almost as if they don't know what to do. These big directors of the brewery, because I was down at Wadsworth Brewery, I was looking, and I went round, come out of their tap room, and this is the problem. You see the fat cats coming out of an office building in their suits, jumping in Jags, and they're driving off, and these people are running these breweries. That's what I seen down at Wadsworth in Devizes. I never mentioned that in the video, but yeah, it kind of made me go like, made me want to go up and tap on the glass window of the car, let him wind down the Jag window, and then me say, do you have any idea on how to run a brewery? Do you have any idea on what you're doing? Just kind of creaming off the top all the time until there's nothing left. And then when there's nothing left, what we'll do, we'll sell the brewery building. We'll cash in, type of thing. Who I feel sorry for are the founders of these breweries, like literally turning in their graves, looking at what happened to what was once a great tradition of brewing great beer. I think what could have saved these regional breweries in the UK is a kind of like a Reinheitsgebot, a German-style purity law that holds these breweries at a certain level. You know, they're not allowed to dip below a certain level. They're not allowed to add kind of glucoses and all sorts of brewing syrups, as once one of these regional breweries kind of showed me as we were brewing the beer. I was like, what's that going in there? And he went, brewer's syrup. And that was all he was going to say about it. The point is, these breweries could do an awful lot better. They could do so much better in this wonderful industry that we're all kind of passionate about. So much better. The fact that we're left with this sort of thing, tinny, metallic, best bitters, with a lazy, very, very lazy label on the front, and you know they have to sell this stuff at places like B&M. It's just, it must be such a climb down from where these breweries once were. Great British brewers. It almost tastes like a headache, this. Almost tastes like a headache. The tinniness, I can't get past that tinny, metallic flavour in the beer. It's awful, absolutely awful. Bit of a shocker, really, this. Bit of a shocker from probably one of one of Britain's oldest, greatest regional breweries in Robinsons. A sad shame to stand here and say 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 for this beer. An absolute shocker. A real shocker of a beer. Sorry for being so downbeat at Christmas time, but hey, if I can save you £1.80 of your own money and stop you buying really poor beers like this, then it's what I'm here to do. I'm not going to apologise for it. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.